it's just really interesting how you're introducing comedy into these serious angles. Rikishi directs his attention to Stephanie, and now the crowd is like, there's nothing an Attitude Era crowd likes more than man-on-woman violence, especially when the woman is a heel.
Right.
Well, she falls into position for a stink face. The crowd is like, are we going to get it?
Yeah.
Are we going to get a stink face? We're heading down Skid Row. It's Tales from the Attitude Era.
We are?
I mean, there's a little skid mark on, on Patterson's undie.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
No, it was good, but I'm just not sure that everyone is chomping at the bit immediately to be like, are they going to talk about that Pat Patterson underwear to get that joke?
Welcome to Tales from the Attitude Era. My name is Rob Pasbani. I'm from thestunner.com, a wonderful website you should check out if you like pro wrestling. And I'm, of course, with my co-host, Tommy Blacha, former writer for WWE during this era that we're documenting.
Era, as Triple H would say.
We're talking about the May 13th, 2000 episode of WWF SmackDown. Took place at the New Haven Coliseum, New Haven, Connecticut. Great place for pizza and perhaps hockey, I'm guessing. New Haven Nighthawks from the American Hockey League.
And, well, it's near Hartford. It's all close.
Right.
It's good
What's the
for
Hartford
just,
team?
no. But isn't the Basketball Hall of Fame somewhere near there? I don't
Maybe.
know. Let's say maybe it is. Maybe. But Connecticut, the backyard of the McMahons, so everyone was kind of happy for that. That's just like a short drive and, not too far from driving from New York. So this was one of those just have a rental car kind of deals. So that was
sleep
fun
in your own bed kind of day.
Sleep in your own bed. Yep. Big deal.
And for the wrestlers, this was the end of a long 2 weeks because I feel they have the pay-per-view week. Then they had to fly to the UK the previous weekend. Hopefully there's no house shows this following weekend, but knowing Vince, there probably were.
Oh, of course there is. Of course, there always is, yeah. But, and then most of the guys don't live in the Northeast anyway, really.
Yeah. They have to go to an airport.
Most of them live in Tampa.
Yeah. This was a really fun episode. I think you're on a good run right now. While things are kind of idle, you're still having fun. There's still a fun element to the shows, and I feel like you're in a good rhythm overall. Still on top.
Numbers are still huge. That all, like as we've talked before, that all fuels the momentum. It fuels the attitude of people. It fuels. It wasn't like that long ago that WCW was. I feel like we're definitely above them now, and that's crumbling. But certainly,
it's like they can't catch up at this point. You're doubling their ratings at this point.
And like I said, it was a weird when WWF at the time. I don't know if it was E before they bought WCW, but there almost was like that was a time where like, oh, the foot comes off the gas, and even like we've talked about a lot, where there's these overall TV deals and Netflix and. People have said, I think Meltzer even said, everyone that runs WWF could go away and it would still be profitable for 2-3 years because of the deals, no matter what they put out there.
Yeah.
So there's not a connection to ratings per se, where there still was in this era, and still, it still was. SmackDown isn't 2 years old yet, I don't think. No. And to pull off this work cycle was still like amazing. And then it really has settled into this like, holy shit, this machine is still one pay-per-view a month or so. And, all these shows. So to just pull it off is still exhilarating, and everything's working, and everyone's got, good attitudes and wants to be there. Put it that way.
Yeah. You could, obviously, this is the place to be right now in pro wrestling.
The place to be.
And we'll talk about it more a little later. It's just really interesting how you're introducing comedy into these serious angles, like the main event. But we'll get to it. I want to talk about that a little later. Kick things off with the Dudleys. Hot start. And again, Always appreciating a match kicking off SmackDown, which seems to be the MO the last few weeks. Starting with the action on broadcast television. Hook 'em with the action. And we get the Dudleys come out. Michael Cole points out that they're embarrassed after Gerald Brisco put Bubba through a table on Raw this past Monday. Then we hear the soothing sounds of Rick Derringer's Real American. And here comes Gerald Brisco, and he directs the Dudleys' attention to the Ovaltron. Confirmed, it's the Ovaltron on SmackDown. And they show the footage of him doing a splash on Bubba through a table on Raw. He says, "Why did I do that? I'm a great wrestling champion. And I'm a great fighter for women's rights. And I will fight for all the women in the WWF." Big pop for this line. And he says, "After making a long convalescence, I give you Trish Stratus and TNA." So Trish is back after 2 weeks. No neck brace or anything.
Nope.
She's recovered, which is fine. We don't need.
She was fast healer.
Yeah. And Trish gives
most
Gerald
pro wrestlers I found are extremely fast healers.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Yeah.
Trish gives Gerald a peck on the lips, which was less creepy than Stephanie giving Vince a peck on the lips the episode prior.
Certainly.
And they go arm in arm down the ramp. Shane comes out and he gets some mic time. He says he's overwhelmed with Gerald's sentiments and shares his care for women's rights. It could have been his own sister that was put through a table. He stands by Gerald and he hugs Gerald Brisco, and the bell rings. So two of them are at ringside for this match. It's back and forth. At one point, Brisco goes on the apron, Brisco tries to trip Devon. Then Devon does the chase around the ring, and they do the heel thing where he rolls in and the heel gets the advantage from the distraction. Test tries to go for a top rope elbow, misses. Hot tag to Bubba. Bubba cleans house. He tries to grab Trish. Albert storms him. Bubba ducks. Albert hits Trish, who falls into Gerald Brisco's arms. How did his wife feel about that one? 3D on Albert. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. The ref gets pulled out by Shane. Shane interferes in the match now, costing the Dudleys. And Bubba is still in the pin position on Albert, and this allows Test to get on the top rope, do an elbow drop. They steal the victory.
Nice.
Big Show just runs down to grab Shane, but Test stops him. Big Show then choke slams Test. Shane runs off.
Nice.
Big Show's wild backstage looking for Shane McMahon after the break. This is a good segment. You're really pushing the Dudleys here, elevating the Dudleys, I should say. You give them a hot face turn, and now they're in the main event-ish program a little bit. Getting the rub.
Yep. Well, they put themselves over, because they, ever since they got destroyed by the APA back in the day and then just shook their hands. They were like, they're great in the locker room. Everyone likes them. They work well. So they're kind of like rewarded. And even this match, I think a lot of the setup, it really wasn't about like sometimes like it is, oh, what can we get out of this? It's like, oh, let them all have a blast. They would love to work with Brisco. Brisco worked for, let everyone get in there and have a ball. You know what I mean? It was almost like rewarding the performers for just being performers, and even booking this particular episode seemed to have like a lot of that. Like, yeah, let's do that again. Yeah, let's get the Stooges out there again. It wasn't like, oh, now this is going to work or that's going to work. It's like, yeah, let them all have a blast.
I mean, this is the benefit of The Rock being gone in a way.
Exactly. You
have more room to experiment because your surefire thing isn't there. So you're like, well, what could we do? What else could we do? And yeah, there was a lot of fun moments like that on this episode. Speaking of which, next match, Godfather versus Chris Benoit. Now, I want to imagine when Godfather saw this on the rundown, he was like, what the fuck? I got to like actually work tonight?
Yeah.
It was almost like a clash of styles because like, when was the last time the Godfather took a belly to belly overhead suplex? I don't think he's taken too many of those, but he had his working shoes on. I'll give him that. Like, sure. It was a really fun, like,
and remember,
match.
he's a time-honored, legitimate, tough guy and a legitimate worker, and definitely knew what he's doing. So I think more his attitude was kind of like, hey, you've been smoking fatties and marching out with all the hoes time after time after time. You know, one of these has got to come up here and there. So it's like quite that. Of course, you know what I mean? There's no possible, especially the ethos of the locker room or whatever. There's no possible way you could complain. What the hell?
No, it was good. It was really fun. And he goes to the second rope for a splash. He misses and falls right in position for the crippler crossface, and he taps out. Benoit retains. Then we have Michael Cole coming into the ring. We don't usually see this on SmackDown, but I like it. He's there to guide Benoit through this interview, and Benoit does really good for someone who isn't really known for his talking initially.
Well, you know, we talked about this a lot, and it's my opinion that he's never been bad. It's just more, there's people that they always say who's good on the mic, who's not good on the mic. When you don't have that announcer to be the foil, you know, a lot of guys can be bad because they'll try to like lead the conversation or be the whole person where, you know, forever. Bret Hart, I always thought was someone who was like never known as a talker, but usually when he's getting interviewed, you know, you can just, all you got to do is be, I don't want to say all you got to do is like be intense and be angry. And then the interviewer can be like, oh my God, you know, the rabid Wolverine. And it works, you know? And so he knows that. And that's, I think, where he came up through always having an announcer or, you know, a reporter, if you will, or, you know, someone guiding it or someone to tell to shut up and move forward. Like we said, I think that's always missing a lot in so many long-winded promos, like the one I'm doing now, you know?
No, this was good. Cole says everyone saw on Monday that Triple H called the bell quick and Jericho didn't actually tap to the crippler crossface, and Benoit threatened to lock the crossface on Cole to show him how tough it is.
Yeah.
And he said even if it was quick, Jericho wouldn't have anywhere to go. He didn't say I quit because he couldn't.
There you go.
He said he offered, which I thought great comeback there. He offered Jericho another shot at the title at the pay-per-view, but this time it's a submission match.
Ooh.
I like it. I like it also because both of these guys have submission finishers. So
there you go. Yep.
you're setting it up here, the crossface versus the walls of Jericho. And after the break, Jericho and Benoit are brawling in the back. Then the McMahon-Helmsley regime comes out. And I want to say you showed a lot of self-control here. This is the third or fourth segment of the show. This is now like 8:45-ish, I guesstimated in the episode that you're doing this. So
I love how you call it self-control, like we're chomping at the bit. You got to put him in now. No,
not yet. No, wait.
Not yet.
And they start with Patterson on the mic. And I have to say, I love Pat Patterson on the mic. God rest his soul. So funny, so charismatic. I mean, obviously this guy's a legendary wrestler. Like, it's not like he came out of nowhere. There's a reason he was Vince McMahon's right-hand man. He says, I've done a lot of wrestling in my career, but tonight I am a proud man. I won't tell you why. I'll show you. Roll the footage. And then they roll the footage from Monday of him giving Rikishi the stink face.
Yeah.
And he then says, I was granted permission to book a tag team match in this very ring. X-Pac, Road Dogg, and Triple H versus Too Cool and Rikishi in an elimination match. Very interesting.
Yep.
I like this.
When something's so nice, you got to show it twice, right?
Yeah, of course. Oh, my God. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't throw that in the Raw intro after. Shane grabs the mic. He says, since we're making matches tonight, Big Show, you're in a handicap tables match against your new friends in the Dudleys. Which is cool. And then Triple H grabs the mic and says, that's really good crap. Really good crap. A nice nod and a wink to both Pat Patterson and Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon's catchphrase behind the scene was always, that's really good shit.
Yeah.
He continues that a lot of people were surprised that The Rock wasn't on Raw on Monday. I wasn't. A word leaked out. It slipped that Monday I was going to challenge The Rock to an Iron Man match, and he's scared. He made some excuse that he was in Morocco shooting the mummy, but he's afraid of me. And Michael Cole made it clear that is actually what he's doing. Like, he's not actually afraid of Triple H.
Interesting, because this is just the beginning, which now is so prevalent, and how do you deal with this a lot, where real life circumstances, schedules of people leak into the booking, which is a kind of a pretty new phenomena. You know, we talked about the famous Detroit episode where Stone Cold gets hit by the car, you know, and how that wouldn't have worked today because it's like, oh, his neck was hurt,
yeah.
You know, it was kind of in the dirt sheets. Like, this is the first thing that's like, whoa, The Rock is in a movie and everyone knows it. You know what I mean? It's pretty big information. So you can't just be like, oh, before we're like, oh, should we hurt him? So why is he going to be gone for 2 weeks? No, we'll just say he's in the movie. And part of that was because, you know, WWE had an interest in him being in the movie. But it just was interesting, like dealing with things like this was kind of easy for booking. Be like, oh, he's not here because he's not here. It wasn't like the Austin thing where like, oh shit, what do we do? We got to come up with something. It was just like, oh, he's in the movie. Oh, and here's a little thing about it. But interesting.
That's a good point. Because also, like, I feel like at this time he was getting a lot of press for being in the movie too. Like, huge. Entertainment Tonight and all this was covering that he was doing it. So you couldn't, like, especially in the more realistic era that you're in at the moment, like you're going for quote unquote reality.
Right.
So yeah.
And you got to remember too, at the time when we talked about, it's all a win for wrestling because there wasn't all these huge stars that were just crossovers. It was kind of like all the wrestlers were like, oh my God, The Rock's going to be in that's good for everyone. Even like why people wanted to work with Chyna when she had the Playboy cover that was huge, you know, and now you watch it years later and you're like, well, you know, remember how a lot of that drove all this, how everyone was like, oh my God, wrestling's getting legitimate. The numbers are huge. Everyone's going to get paid more ultimately, not because of they got paid more because Turner was going crazy trying to like get people away from WWF or whatever at the time. But overall, people are like, this is elevating our industry. So everyone's all into it and everyone's all happy. And so we can say a nod to, you know, The Rock when he's on SNL or going through a movie, you know?
Yeah. And it just works as well because now people are anticipating his return, which I believe, like you're even advertising that he's going to answer on Monday. And Triple H says, you'll never be in the shape that I am. And Brisco chimes in, just ask Stephanie. She knows. Vince takes the mic. I didn't realize this is maybe Vince McMahon's most iconic promo as the Mr. McMahon character.
Yeah, at least top part
3.
of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Top 3 for sure. Maybe not the
I would say, maybe the phrase. You know which one.
Yeah. But he really, like, it really ramps up too, because at first it just starts like a regular promo. And here's another benefit: like, The Rock's not here, their main nemesis isn't around. So who's Vince going to cut a promo on right now? Yeah. No, he's not going to cut it on Jericho. Jericho's not in their program anymore. Cuts it on the fans.
Yeah, always
so
great.
Good.
Yeah.
He says he's hearing what he did on Monday. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say about this is that you know that there is truth in this promo. Like, this isn't just the Mr. McMahon character talking.
Right.
This is Vince talking. This is Vince McMahon, the person, the human being talking. This is his true feelings coming out through his character, in my opinion.
Well, the truth always helps jazz it up. You always try to, turn the volume up on the truth, so to speak. But
yes, exactly. He goes, he's hearing what he did on Monday. People are saying, it's just not fair. That's too bad. You sound like the type of people that wait in line and wait your turn, and you see someone like me cut aggressively in line and say, that's not fair. Or you're waiting for a parking spot, you see one, and then you're finally driving to it, and then you see someone like me cut in and take it, and you say, that's not fair. Or when you look at a full-length mirror, which he pronounces Mira, Southern accent poking through, then he makes some fat jokes and he says, that's not fair. You compare yourself to the beautiful people and say, that's not fair. Forget about the looks. What about the money? What about the money? This is where I just lost it at that.
Yeah.
Some people are rich and you're not. Some of you are born with inferior DNA. Then you have to face the facts that life isn't fair. For some of you, you must hold up the philosophy that life sucks and then you die.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Iconic line. It gets reshared on Twitter every 3 months. I'm going to pull out this whole promo and just post it on our social media.
And it's all him, because I remember going over this, and like, really, when you break it down and you put it on paper, yeah, whatever. It's, it's fine. It's fun, yeah. And then like, oh, here's a fat joke. But when you're dealing with him, you're just knowing like, oh, this is going to be great when you say this. It isn't like, something that's foolproof for anyone. It's like, because some of it's just very basic. It's like, oh, and then you look in the mirror. Like, you're just like, oh, yeah, fat joke, parking. Yeah, he's going to elevate it. You're just like, he's the top 3 promo artist of all time. Period.
And really,
like,
this is where like being going on and on actually got more heat than if it was just like 3 lines. Because it was so long.
Yeah.
It was just like, shut the fuck up. Like, how dare you?
Yeah. And it really was great because, like you said, just like, okay, we're going to, and sometimes he's one of the few people where it's like, how are we going to, you're always looking like, how does the segment crescendo? How does the, what's the big thing? Oh, you got all these elements and, oh, it's going to be some physicality. It's like, nope, it's just going to be him. And he's like, and it was perfectly said by you. It was just like, we got no one to say. He'll just turn on the fans and just have a moment. And it'll be so no action, no physicality, totally perfect, crescendoed as much as anyone, just him and his fucking loud mouth, and his just like the Mr. McMahon character. So, everyone's happy. Like, oh, it's incredible.
Yeah. Loved it so much. Just like, oh, that's not fair. Like his mocking voice.
Oh yeah. All that shit he did. You just like, you really never got tired of it. You just knew like, oh yeah, he'll, there never was like, when you'd feed him lines or whatever, like, yeah, dude, like, you just know it's like going to be gold. Even if it's like mispronounces mirror, moves past something. It's all, he just knows these rhythms just from his persona and his experience of decades. You just know like, oh yeah, he's going to nail it and it's going to be.
Yeah. Huge. Like he does have 30 years of on-camera experience at this point, and like, even if he was playing the straight man, I mean, he was watching heels, like he worked with a heel directly, interviewing them, for years. So he has it. It's like baked into him.
And not only you realize like, yeah, the 70s, the 80s for all, because there's the different markets and they were sending tapes out. So he was, working with Johnny Valiant, Gorilla Monsoon, on and on and on. And then just, and Outraged and that broadcast, kind of speak. And then Tuesday Night Titans talk show, you know what I mean? He just has that, which is missing a lot, that broadcaster's ability, that big old, wonderful ham-fisted broadcasting voice and technique honed throughout the decades, in my opinion.
I agree. I feel like there's announcers today that are emulating the Vince McMahon style of broadcasting. I think Excalibur from AEW takes a lot after 80s Vince McMahon. He even co-opted some of his catchphrases.
Sure.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And even Vince's was borrowed from that style from 50s, 60s announcers, or you know what I mean? All kinds of people.
Yeah, I'm sure like there's Howard Cosell in there and
absolutely.
And
yeah.
After the break, Chyna and Eddie are backstage. They're trying to decide which one of them faces Perry Saturn and which faces Dean Malenko. And they do like rock, paper, scissors. They flip a coin, whatever. They can't decide. Chyna's like, I'll just take Dean. You take Perry. And so that's the match next. It's Chyna versus Dean Malenko. The light heavyweight title is on the line. It was a relatively short match. Chyna does her gymnastics springboard elbow into the corner, and Dean pulled the ref between them, so the ref gets knocked down. I want to point out the agents aren't talking to each other because Triple H did this exact spot in the main event. Come on, agents.
Well, we should have done a bit where Triple H was watching the monitor or something like, that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. Maybe you got the idea from Dean. And so the ref gets knocked out. That allows Saturn to run out, and he attacks Eddie Guerrero. So Eddie is officially split from
You know what would have been
Radicals.
good? I was going to say not to cut you off, but I'm cutting you off.
Please.
That would be fun. I would love to pitch that. I would love to see, like, there should be like a Raw or something where every single match has the same spot in it. Like the ref pulled him. What if that happened? Because it can be happening a bunch of different ways. But if every single to make the clean finish smart mark just cringe, but wouldn't that be great if every single match had that same ref spot?
I think that would be a hilarious bit.
Yeah.
So Saturn runs out. He attacks Eddie, knocks him out, and as the ref is down, he goes in the ring, suplexes Chyna, rolls Dean on top of her, and Dean gets the win, setting up the Perry Saturn Eddie Guerrero match later in the show. So, fine piece of business. It was A-okay. Now we have one of your favorite type of segments. We have a bar segment. This is Paulie G's in New Haven, Connecticut. Were you on remote for this one, or was this someone else? Do you remember?
Yep.
Oh, this was
and others. Yes, I remember.
So Boss Man and Bull Buchanan show up at this bar, and it's pretty full. All the seats at the bar are taken, and they intimidate two guys at the bar and take their seats. That's the first bit, and you know where this is headed.
Of course.
Backstage, Edge and Christian are in front of an RC Cola soda machine. RC Cola is promoting its new Edge Cola, RC Edge. And Edge is on the cover.
Yeah.
And Christian wonders, where's the RC Christian Cola? Which is a good line. And fans approach for autographs. They take they sign the autographs, but then they demand $5 from each fan for the autographs. And Kevin Kelly's like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" And he's like, "Making some money."
Yeah, pretty good.
I like this.
Don't they step in for? Don't they? Which I remember was a funny bit. Then they would like block. They would take a picture with the fan, but then they would block the fan in the.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
So then they come out and they go, "We all know that our fans respect us and love us, but we can't get the same respect from the guys in the back. They look at us with so much envy and rage." Christian says there's only one man that gives them the respect that they deserve. It's Kurt Angle. Big boost for Kurt Angle coming out. What a great pairing, by the way. I think Gewurz mentioned that he might have suggested it in his book. Maybe I'm misremembering, but do you remember how this pairing came together?
No, but it seemed, that's how things happen. Someone said, "Hey, how would that work?" Oh yeah, excellent, But as usual,
it makes so much sense because they're doing the same kind of bit of like acting like faces while being heels.
Right.
So it seems like a very natural pairing.
And it's also one of those time-honored things where, like, back in the day, remember the first Survivor series were also silly, where it was just a way to like, get these teams up. And then it was always fun for me as a kid to be like, of course the heels are going to like each other. Or when like Jesse Ventura always said something, I don't know. I got a lot of respect for the way that person does it. And like, you got to be kidding me. I don't know. It's always a dumb, fun thing for me to be like, heels are going to like heels, which isn't always like, in the other over formatted eras, so to speak, which wasn't always like that in the Attitude eras, when it wasn't like, that demarcation line of babyface or heel, so it's fun piece of business.
Right. I like when they work together, but I also like conversely when they're such conniving assholes that they even trick each other. They can't even, no honor among thieves. So Angle comes out. He cuts a great promo. He says, "It's true. I do respect the both of you. I used to think the only good things that came out of Canada were maple syrup and Michael J. Fox. But it's true. These guys are role models and they will help me avenge my loss to Chris Jericho. So it's Angle and Edge and Christian versus the Hardys and Chris Jericho. Quite a dream match, I have to say. This is like the perfect house show semi-main event.
Sure.
Everyone's over. Everyone's young and hungry and wanting to put on a good show.
They're youngry.
Hot match, hot crowd, I wrote. At one point, Chris Benoit runs out and that distracts Jericho, and he and Jericho are brawling at the top of the stage. It ends with a belt shot, and Angle steals the win. I guess a belt shot, I think, on one of the Hardys gets pinned, and Angle steals the win. I feel like, honestly, here I am, like these matches, until we get to the pay-per-view, they're pretty inconsequential either way. They're a means to an end. Angle holds Jericho as Benoit gives him a low blow to end the segment. And we even get a mild celebration after the break from Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian.
Yeah, this is a very, there's nothing wrong with the super house show feel.
No, I actually
entertainment.
Yeah, I enjoy those episodes of SmackDown. Then we get the hardcore champion British Bulldog comes out. This is the first time we're seeing the Bulldog in a few months. It'll also be the last time, right? Not long for this company, unfortunately. It turns out that he won the hardcore title this past weekend at the Insurrection pay-per-view. He beat Crash Holly. And it's so wild, like looking at this footage, because it's footage that looks like Attitude Era footage. And I'm someone that consumed what I thought was every minute of Attitude Era content.
Right.
But I had never seen Insurrection because it wasn't available to me unless I was a tape trader, which at the time I was too young to be.
Right.
There was no way to see the show. It was just like you could only see it in these clips that you would throw in. And it's such a, like, that would never happen today. Yeah. Like with the net, it would be on the network, it would be on YouTube, it would be somewhere where everyone could have seen it if they wanted to.
I know, it was something fun about it. Little odd mystique of,
Yeah,
mystique,
exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. So it's Bulldog versus Hardcore Holly. Short nothing match. Crash Holly eventually comes down with his own ref and a garbage can lid. And he hits Hardcore from behind with the garbage can lid, knocks him down, gets in the ring, hits Bulldog with the garbage can lid, and that's enough to get the pin. And the 1, 2, 3.
And he's off and running again.
Crash Holly's the champion again. Hardcore Holly, though, would not. He was like, I need to get my heat back. So he got in the ring and gave Bulldog a suplex slam on a chair. And it looked like Bulldog landed really bad on his already messed up back. That was a completely unnecessary move for them to do.
Seemed like it, yeah. I thought that too. It was like, ooh.
Yeah, it looked like he got, because the chair was on the back end of it, so it had, it had the little, the back side of it risen, so I feel like it stabbed Bulldog when he landed on it, as opposed to the butt side of the chair that would have been flat. Pat Patterson is cutting a promo backstage and wants to remind everyone about how Rikishi was depressed after Pat made him hit Skid Row. And then he shows that he has the underwear. Yeah. Kevin Kelly's like, what the? Oh, no. Why am I looking at this? He's so proud of his underwear.
Yeah. And then you're going to bring that underwear out. Ha ha
ha. At the bar, Bull and Boss Man are sitting there in their chairs. And some extra shows up and says, oh, I remember you guys. You guys got your ass kicked on Monday. And there was almost a fight, but got broken up. We have Big Show versus the Dudleys in a handicap tables match. And I thought this was a very well booked match. I really liked the structure of it. Agents did a great job here. Everyone looked good. Everyone had a moment to shine. Big Show got to look
I think
tough
you should
again.
say this is a well executed match, because the things that you're enjoying about it weren't necessarily in the booking; they were more in the agent and the performer's execution.
That's what I mean. Yeah. A well structured match. Is because it was really good how they gave everyone a moment, and they got to the finish in a clever way, which is that Big Show had the control. He finally got control. He brings in a table, puts Bubba on the table, then decides for some reason to go on the second rope, which we never see the Big Show do. And Devon snuck in and he's like, punching at Big Show's knees and like trying to grab him. And since Big Show's already elevated, it's believable that they could somehow get him into a 3D through the table. And so the Dudleys win with the 3D. So they look good, and Big Show doesn't necessarily look that bad.
Right.
It just looks like he made a mistake and it cost him.
And again, it's that execution, because like everything is booked, or even how it's laid out with an agent. That could have been dog shit.
Yeah.
Oh, on the second, what is he punching at his leg? Oh, was clunky. Oh, it didn't. Oh, they set him up for, but it wasn't. It's all like timing. Like all these guys, all the time I try to point out. And even this show itself had so much of that. This could have been a disastrous show, if you know what I mean. Just like, oh my God, all these like, whoa, what is this? Everything's funky, non-clean finishes, but like the timing of everything was like really, really great. And
yeah, and you do have the benefit of editing. If the timing was off a little bit, you could massage it, but it looked good. It looked very good, and I really, really enjoyed this match based on what it was and what you're trying to accomplish. Shane sneaks in. He's downstairs and he attacks the Big Show behind the Dudleys' back as the Dudleys are leaving. Then the Dudleys look on the Ovaltron and they see that Shane is out there, and they're like, wait a minute, we don't like this guy. So they come back to try to attack Shane. Then DX attacks the Dudleys. They beat him up. DX holds Bubba and Tori slaps the both of them. And this gets Bubba very upset. And I like that you're leading to another Tori table spot.
Yep.
Backstage, Bradshaw is in the APA office, and Farouk brings in a monitor and he says, you got to see what's going on at this bar. And then they're like, oh, well, I guess we got to head over there.
Yep.
And you know what's next. Eddie and Chyna come out. And I just want to say, like,
just to cut you off, this is just good old fashioned basic, like, oh, yeah, we're going to have an APA bar fight, but let's have, like, 3 things leading up to it. Just literally to keep people tuned in. Oh, I got to stay tuned in because
keep it a little fresh. Yeah, because I mean, you've done like 3 or 4 of them in the last 4 months. So, if you're watching and they've all been on SmackDown. So I almost feel like there is something from UPN that you have to have interstitials. I feel like SmackDown in particular, there's always on location interstitials on it.
Yeah, and it's just a smart thing to do, really. And
it changes it up. It changes it, like it looks different, and also like we'll talk about it more in the when we get to the bar fight. But the culture at the time was like cops, like Girls Gone Wild. Like this was very in the zeitgeist of like a bar fight was a cool thing for the moment.
Yeah, and it was just internally WWF. It wasn't exactly like, we never really got notes per se that much from like that kind of like granular shit. It was more like just like WWF all the time was like, oh, let's have a camera outside showing the arena, all these kind of interstitials that all influence sports and all the time. Like, and then we come back and we're going to have the helicopter shot of the arena and then we'll do this and that. It just keeps it flowing, keeps it exciting, throwing to here, throwing to there. It's just, time honored thing that wrestling did that, dare I say, influenced TV more than the TV influence on wrestling, WWF in particular.
Yeah, no, I agree. Eddie and Chyna come out, and I once again have to say, like, this is such a great package because, like, it's the muscle woman with the guy who's smaller than her, but like is in love with her and is infatuated with her. But I think why it also works is that she still acts in a way submissively to his masculinity. Like she's attracted to like what
sick, Pasbani. You're sick.
She's attracted to his Latino heat.
Right.
So like they complement each other so well because he's really into how muscular she is, but like she's still like she retains her femininity around him with it.
No, you're right. It's really interesting because she does push this boundary of like, in this era, I thought of like, oh, she's, through the years, I don't know, we have like people like Rachel McLeish, who remember was like Miss, the bodybuilding, whatever, Miss Universe, Not the beauty pageant, whatever. I forget what she was called, but just kind of like, oh, muscularity in women, and then like, oh, Chyna, like really super muscular, but still like really attractive. Where most people be like, yeah, I still find her attractive in that feminine way. And then conversely, like Eddie playing this role, but it's very much not many people could do it, because then they would get kind of pushed into like, oh, so you're cuckolded by her. Like, no,
right. No,
he's not. He's
yeah.
But he's so, because he's so funny and he's so charismatic and he's so obviously like tough that you wouldn't, you don't feel that like that. He can just bring this kind of like, I'm enamored with her, and that's that. But you don't feel those particular like pigeonholed sort of things like, oh, I get it. She's the tough one and he's this. It's kind of, it's just different and it's unique. And they're just like it just works. It's just really like wonderfully works, And then speaking Spanish and all that. And it's like, what a crazy couple. Like, that just evolved into, a great thing. And I put most of it working on Eddie, really, just something about him. He's just so great.
Yeah, I mean, he's the veteran in this equation. So, and he really took to it. I feel like he really wanted a character. He wanted something to work. And like, arguably of the Radicals right now, this is the best program. Like, this is the most, like, Chris Benoit is just being Chris Benoit, like there's nothing, like Eddie evolved his character a little to fit the WWE style.
Yeah. For me, I can't even comment, because I'm total mark for Eddie Guerrero. I kind of like, well, no, he's, if any question will be like, who's the best of the four? Him, the full checklist. Like I said, very few guys like Angle, whatever. Him, really funny, really charismatic, really adaptable. As a guy that could lose and then get his heat back immediately or whatever. He's just, he has the full checklist. He's, that great in my opinion.
So Eddie has a match with Perry Saturn. The European title is on the line. And I was always fascinated with these matches that I've seen before in another company. Like they wrestled plenty of times in WCW. They wrestled in ECW probably. But this is the first time they wrestle in WWF and with a WWF style match, which is different than a WCW style match. So, and that to me is always so fun. It's like seeing them in a different universe,
even when you're young, I'm sure you had the same thing. It was just always, there's something like just energy giving when guys would hop federations, and just show up guys or women, and suddenly like it just rejuvenate them, because you just see like, oh, they're here with that logo in the corner.
Whatever. And also like I was thinking about that too. Like the presentation is different in WCW and WWF. WCW is a little darker. Like the mat is gray. WWF is bright. Like it looks. You're literally on a different TV show, but the same character. How is that possible?
It's just something cool. Weirdly exhilarating about it.
Yeah. So they had a good match and a really clever ending here, which is Chyna gets on the apron. She swings a bunch of roses, her bunch of roses at Saturn, and Saturn gets knocked out. Eddie gets the win, and she reveals that in the middle of this bush of roses was a steel pipe. and she hands it off to Eddie, and Eddie discovers it, and he's like, I didn't know you had that in you. He gives that kind of look like he's even impressed at her. Yeah. And like, again, this is why this works so like he's so turned on that she cheated for him.
Yeah. And it's violent. And she's like, that was violent. Oh, yeah. I know. It's all, yeah.
And he's like, Mamacita, you did this? You can't do that. Great moment. And like every week you're getting Eddie more over. You're getting Chyna more over. This was wonderful. We learned that Jerry Oliver of WWF Racing is here. Woo! WWF Racing.
Well, remember at the time, again, to bring some historical context, the number one spectator sport, I'm sure, I know of this era, was, NASCAR and racing. It was really huge, so why not? That's, why not put WWF on a car? I don't think it all ultimately worked out too much, but Why not? And WWF was growing, and you had that megalomaniacal Vince McMahon. Ice cream bars, supermarkets, casinos. Yeah. Let's see where it ends. Yeah. Why not?
APA arrive at the bar. They snuff Bull and say, "Hey, I think you're in our seats." And they're like, "No, we told you these are our seats." You know, like they don't see. Bull and Boss Man don't see who it is, so they were just brushing him off.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they turn around and they go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And before they can even say anything, off to the races, destroying this bar. Fun little bar fight. And this is what I'm like, oh, I guess this is like Cobb. You know, like I was like, I guess this is of the time. This was exciting. And then, and again, thinking as like a 15-year-old male with testosterone running through my veins. It's like, yeah, fight, bar, chaos, destruction.
Yeah. When has the term bar fight from old westerns to wherever, Keystone Cops, when projected images started, I think bar fights were right in there, and they never lost their luster.
Now it's a whole genre of wrestling events. Now there's like no ring death match is the phrase, but essentially they just wrestlers show up to a bar and fight. Yeah. And like have a hardcore match in a bar. Yeah. I've gone to a few. They're very fun. It's nice. There you go. You can definitely get caught up in the death match element of it. Like I realize that's the kayfabe in a sense of like, no, he didn't really hit himself with that. Right. Or like, I got to get out of the way or I'm going to get hit with this thing. Yeah. Or, like, oh, here come the light tubes. I'm going the other way. Yeah. I don't want those
especially when, you kind of have some feeling like when you're in a big, promotion like this, well, that's not going to happen. But when you go to those local ones, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I could see someone losing an eye over a weird, shitty mistake. And this, this crazy thing I'm at with 60 people.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like there's a commission or an ambulance there. I doubt like this guy was like just bleeding, full crimson mask, like gushing. Sure. And a guy hit him with a chair and he swings his head and blood just got on me.
Yeah, there you go.
I was just like, if I had an open wound, this would be very unsanitary.
Sure. Could go in your eye.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You could be a zombie.
After the event, I went up to the guy. I was like, "You got your STDs checked, right?" I do wonder about that. Like, I wonder if they practice safety here.
Oh, at the
at the no ring death match.
I'm gonna let you answer that yourself. These no ring death matches, they all clear them for STD. Oh, of course. Right.
You guys do your blood work before the match,
of course.
Right?
We use the same company for the porno shoots. It's completely above board.
Yeah, can I see the sheet of the blood work of all the talent on the show? So they're a great bar brawl, really, really fun. And again, just setting up getting APA even more over.
Easiest things in the world to do.
Yeah.
Like, over here, then come in and camera follows. And then,
they're basically mid-card Steve Austin, right? Like it's the Steve Austin gimmick for the mid-card, but as a tag team. Too Cool are reunited. They're getting ready for their elimination match. And Grandmaster Sexy says, "It's time. Let's back that ass up." Grandmaster Sex A. Yeah. Grandmaster Sex A says, "Let's back that ass up." And then it may be one of the best shots of the Attitude Era. DX and Pat Patterson turn the corner. Everyone's looking really tough and serious. Pat Patterson just shows off his streaked underwear to the camera, and he's so proud of himself. And you just see Stephanie in the corner making like the biggest disgusting face. And I'm losing it laughing. I even took a screenshot and I texted you. Yeah. It's just like, I'll hang this in the loop. And what struck me about this is a very serious moment. These guys are getting ready to go out to the main event. And then there's this like one little like very, very absurd thing, but it's still being played seriously. Everyone else is serious. It's just Pat Patterson is just dicking around in the shot. And I think that's the difference between WWE Attitude Era humor and whatever WCW was trying at the time. WCW was like winking at the camera.
Right.
Like the actual wrestler was like, like there's no wink.
Right.
They're like Pat Patterson wasn't breaking. Pat Patterson was seriously, legitimately proud of his underwear.
Right.
And it made it that like, it's so interesting how you're in the most serious era of WWE, but there's still so much comedy, even in the main event program. Like we'll even get to it in the match itself. The underwear becomes a weapon, and it's hilarious. But it like the tone everyone keeps it funny, makes it from being like when on SNL everyone's breaking character, and it's like, all right, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think the rule. Well, you don't want to make it hard for. It's basically people are dialed into their characters. You know what I mean? So it's still character driven. And as opposed to like, you can always smell a little desperation of like, this is funny, right? Regardless of what you think of it, whether you think it works or not, it's still in a way like kind of playing it straight, so to speak, even though the whole thing's absurd. And you're exactly right. Like that kind of like pandering to the camera. This is funny, right? Unless the character is desperate or whatever. It's just like everyone now is like all these characters are established and dialed in, so everything.
Like I would say Triple H is the most serious character on the show.
Yeah.
He's just like puffing. And like right next to him is a guy showing off his shit stained underwear.
Yeah.
And Pat Patterson is hilarious. Like, he does not mind being the butt of the joke. No pun intended here.
You intended the pun.
A little bit of a pun. All right. We got, then it's main event time. And look, again, Rock isn't here. We made it to the end of the show. And while there were some Rocky chants, of course, because you evoked his name.
Right.
I would say, like, you had a pretty solid show without really your two top guys, Rock and Austin.
It did work for that fact, like I said. Even if he made a few movies, people would be like, where's The Rock? He's doing a movie. Oh, fuck, that sucks. This almost seemed like his elevating himself into like, and even then, like now, movies don't mean as much. It's not like someone's going to be in a movie. You still have to add historical context. This was 1999. That was still the pinnacle of like, holy shit, he's going to be in a movie? Like a movie that comes to the theaters with a box office. And so even for like the weirdo fan that's like, where's The Rock? He's going to be in a movie. No way. Like he's one of our guys is going into movies, It still had that kind of like.
That's absolutely how I felt. Like I had to go see it in the theater to support wrestling.
Yeah. You're exactly right. And that feeling. So even people didn't feel ripped off that he wasn't there. I'm sure there was a lot of this chatter around there. Where is he? He's in a movie? No way. Yup. He's in England filming a movie. Now you just feel like, oh, fuck movies, whatever. There's a million movies that come out all the time. Who cares? And that's bullshit. I paid to fucking see him. Why isn't he here? It's totally different. That historical context.
So Grandmaster Sex A and Road Dogg start the match, and Road Dogg starts mocking Grandmaster Sex A and his moves. And it made me realize that they both have the same gimmick. They have the same gimmick, but Grandmaster is ironic and Road Dogg is sincere. But they're basically both, playing the same role, which kind of exposed Road Dogg to me a little bit by him acknowledging that. This is another kind of house show style main event match, and there's nothing wrong with bringing the style to the broadcast shows.
No.
Especially to SmackDown.
And like, frankly, how are you going to book this match without that style?
Yeah.
It would be, people would fart at
without that style, and like not wanting to make anyone look weak. Like everyone, like one of the sides would look like jabrones.
Right.
Unless you did it this way. And so it's a basic match initially. And then Scotty hits the worm, and after that, all hell breaks loose. Road Dogg hits a pump handle slam on Scotty, goes for the pin. Sexay hits a leg drop on Road Dogg to switch the pin. X-Pac comes in, spin kicks Hottie, switches to the pin again. Then Scotty to Hottie is eliminated. Rikishi's out on the outside. DX 3-on-1 teams up on Sexay, Triple H pedigrees Sexay, and then that eliminates Sexay. So now we have all three members of DX against Rikishi.
Ooh.
No better way to make a babyface look more babyface than put him in serious peril like this. He gets a big comeback. He's working on all three guys. All three guys get shoved into one turnbuckle, and Rikishi goes to the opposite turnbuckle to storm the three members of DX in the turnbuckle, only for Triple H to pull in the ref, and the ref gets smashed by Rikishi.
Pretty good.
Which is that spot that I mentioned. It was a repeat of the Dean Malenko spot. Now that the ref is down, the Dudleys run out, and they get their revenge on X-Pac and Road Dogg. See, this is great rewarding for fans watching the entire episode. And it makes total sense. Why wouldn't why wouldn't the Dudleys want revenge? DX has attacked them now twice, maybe even on Raw. I think they had it.
Call that a smart schmaz. Actually, I just made that up. That's what it is. It's not just a schmaz, it's a smart schmaz.
I like it.
Schmaz with a reason.
The Dudleys take care of both Road Dogg and X-Pac and give them both 3Ds. And then they're like bunched up against X-Pac and Road Dogg are laying down like almost shoulder to shoulder, allowing Rikishi to sit his fat ass on both of them.
Yes.
And do a double pin. And the reason that Road Dogg and X-Pac don't look like herbs is that they had just taken another tag team's finishing maneuver. So there's a reason that they're knocked out.
Correct.
Great way to eliminate the two of them immediately, advance the feud with the Dudleys, and make Rikishi look strong. This is A+ booking. How could who can complain here? Yeah. Even this clean finish smart mark is impressed by this run in.
Yeah.
Then you're down to Keish and Triple H, and you are building Rikishi. The last 3 months, you've done such a great job of elevating him. Like Rikishi before, as a fan, I knew that was Fatu and the Sultan and whatever. He was just like a lower mid-card guy. Now he's an upper main eventer, like Garrett. Like that's it. He's not quite in the top, but he's right under the top.
Well, it just goes to show you, I think a lot of people are, up to the task, and he's someone who physically is up for the task. All you had to do is give him the opportunity because he is that kind of, and a lot of it people would not know or whatever. It takes a lot of like locker room respect for all this to work. And that's a guy.
Right. Yeah. Like people wouldn't want to sell for him to put him in that position unless he had that respect. Yeah. And at this point, Patterson comes down. And I'm like, yes, yeah, let's go. And he has his briefs, and Rikishi's like kind of out, and Pat Patterson smothers Rikishi. Like he had like what's that alcohol thing where you knock the person
chloroform.
out?
Yeah.
Chloroform. Thank you. Like it's chloroform. He smothers him with the underwear, and like this is essentially like wakes Rikishi up, and now he's pissed. He beats up Patterson and grabs him in the ring, takes the briefs, and then he stuffs them in Triple H's face. I was so impressed with Triple H that he was willing to show ass, so to speak, and take that spot. And when he stuffs it into Triple H's face, then Stephanie comes in the ring, and she tries to stop it. And then Rikishi directs his attention to Stephanie, and now the crowd is like, there's nothing an Attitude Era crowd likes more than man-on-woman violence, especially when the woman is a heel.
Right.
And he's stalking her. And then Pat Patterson from behind smashes Rikishi, who then squashes Stephanie in the turnbuckle, in the corner turnbuckle. She falls into position for a stink face. The crowd is like, are we going to get it?
Yeah.
Are we going to get a stink face? Oh, my goodness. But sadly, it is not meant to be. He teases it, but as he's about to like he holds it and he's kind of bending over, ready to do it, and Triple H wakes up just at the right moment, and essentially Rikishi is in position to be kicked in the stomach, and boom, pedigree, 1, 2, 3. Again, a distraction causes Rikishi to lose the match, and the pedigree is over as a finisher, so it's believable that that's enough to knock a person out. So great finish, great tease for the crowd. to get this
a
thing
lot of
fixed.
weird loose ends tied up in that. Yeah, you're right. Like
Yeah,
a weird
yeah.
mix of comedy with this and that, and and really, here's a big thing I would say that drove it all. I'll let you guess who really was going. Oh, the underwear. Oh, so everyone knew. Like, yeah. It's just one of those things. People can go to Vince and say, yeah, I don't know about this, or I don't know about this. But when he's so thrilled about that underwear, they're just like, just do it. And, but it also, it's a good thing. And it's where I think, whoever, Triple H, for all his Machiavellian moves, supposedly backstage and all that, realizes like, oh, these guys are all team players, and there's so many shows and there's so much content, and like, things like, you don't think they're worthy or whatever, they're over till next week. You know what I mean? You got to keep going. So routinely in this era, Triple H, say what you will about his long promos or whatever, but he's a team player, and he's often like the star of the night, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And doing a lot of the dirty work, and like this, but and never screwing up, and yeah, really a really wonderfully odd house show feel. I would say.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very fun show, very easy show to watch. And again, like for a Thursday night, you're getting together with your buddies, maybe having a few brews. Like, what a fun show to watch.
Yeah.
I was too young to have brews, but I was definitely getting together with my friends watching this, and we were all dying laughing at the Pat Patterson thing. And
well, because that was the elements of the Attitude Era. How you had to book it a lot was things like, oh my God, what are they going to do now? Oh, no, don't tell me they're doing that. You know what I mean? As much as people like to bitch or whatever, like, oh, it's not just great matches and straight wrestling. Like, there's 5 original hours of programming a week, and a lot of it is just a furnace that you have to keep shoveling coal in. That's like, what are they going to do now? Like the embers are getting, low. Oh my God, what do we do now? And, so that underwear saved the night for the ridiculousness of that energy of the crowd having to be like, my God, you want them driving home. Did you see what they did? And
like, again, it could have been bad, like,
sure.
Again, if this was a Russo thing, like Rikishi would have somehow turned at this point, and joined DX, and he would have, he would have taken the underwear spot himself. It would have been some unfulfilling thing, but like everything was so satisfying here. And even still, like, we were left wanting more. Like, I want to see Stephanie get Samoan ass in her face, I want to see the stink face. And also, again, the stink face is a hilarious move, but it's presented as serious and deadly, like,
because it is. Yeah. No, it's and again, that's we spoke to how unique Rikishi is too, to be like, oh my God, it's this straight weird comedy thing, and like, yeah, zoom in on his ass with all the cottage cheese, and then like, but don't dare comment on it to him how ridiculous it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's almost like to me, it's like laughing at a hippo or an elephant. Aha! Look how they're goofy. Oh yeah, the most dangerous animal. Period. You know what I mean? When it's angry, like, oh yeah. The hippo just killed the person like that. Actually, I think hippos do kill more people than lions. I think people are swimming and like, oh, it's a hippo, and then just one, oh, they're dead. So that's my rambling summation of that.
Well, we're on the road, baby. I think we only have one more week until Judgment Day. So
yes,
I'm guessing this Raw will really.
You mean Judgment Day, the wrestling pay-per-view? You're not getting all religious on me, are you? Like.
No.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm very curious. So, like, what matches will make the main? I guess we already have the Jericho Benoit match. I feel like there has to be a tag title match of some sort. So we'll see. We'll see what makes the card.
How curious are you? You do know that you can find out, but no.
I like to not spoil it. I like to experience it again for the first time.
You're right. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think that's good.
Yeah. Obviously I'm good friends with the On This Day in WWE Twitter account, who's a big fan of the show. Shout out to him. And he's posting stuff from 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, but like 25 years ago in November while we're still in May, and I'm always like, oh, I don't want this is spoilers.
Right? Yeah, I know.
Spoilers. I don't want to see this tweet.
No, it's true. I see his stuff too. I'm kind of like, oh yeah. I feel exactly the same way.
Because I don't want it to taint how I'm watching it week to week, because I feel like that's an important part of the review.
Yeah.
Well, and we want to thank you for watching week to week with us. We've gotten your tweets. Some people have said that this is their best part of the week, and warms on. And so, of course, we love all of your feedback. We have very low self-esteem, so any positive words are very helpful. TFTattitudeera@gmail.com.
I even enjoy the terrible feedback.
Yeah,
and
any feedback.
Sometimes even agree with it.
We're also on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. Give us a follow. We post stuff there all the time. Thank you as always. We'll be back next week reviewing the following Raw. We're on the road to Judgment Day 2000.
Nice.
We're on the road back to the past.
Back to the very beginning of the 21st century.
Yes. And we'll keep going next time on Tales from the Attitude Era.